Today I'm going to teach you guys how to become a better Mantis player by breaking down the #1 ranked Mantis player's gameplay. The thing about Mantis is she's got 3 different ways she can play. She's without a doubt the best support player because of the amount of utility she has and the fact that she can adapt to any situation. And as a Mantis main myself in ranked and pubs, I see a lot of people will hard pick Mantis and they just won't play her effectively. And that doesn't really make me mad when they hard pick my main character because I can play Luna. I can play all support roles, which leads me to my first point, guys. Before you jump in rank, please practice different roles and different characters. So for example, if you're a Mantis main, you want to have another support you can play just in case someone else in a ranked lobby hard picks your character. You guys want to get a lot more efficient because you will get into ranked games where you're not going to be able to play your main character. This happens to me a lot. Now, I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but obviously they had some kind of comms like, yo, I want to play Mantis, or he wants to play Luna. So now they're going to flip-flop lollipop, and that's beautiful. You want to have the team composition that works together. Remember, when it comes to rank, you're going in there with a team mindset. Now with Mantis, she has 4 leafs. Now these leafs identify how many moves she can do, whether it's buffing herself, buffing a teammate, healing a teammate, whatever the case is, it's going to take up a leaf. Now these do regenerate, but if you guys are playing Mantis at a lower level, you know that you get in a lot of situations, you're trying to spam heals on your teammates and you just can't do it. You need to have the ability to shoot. You've got to hit the enemy for a crit to recharge these leaves faster. So as you're healing, as you're buffing, put shots down range and try to hit the enemies. And I really can't wait to see what he does. Also, stop only healing your team. Mantis is not the best healer in the game. I think she's probably a C tier if you classify her as just a healer. But remember, your role is support. You got to damage buff your team. I did see a TikTok video where they're like, damage buff yourself or you're messing up. That's completely wrong. He's obviously never played Mantis. You always want to be buffing and healing your teammates. And as you can see right here, he is spamming buffs and heals on his teammates and still getting shots at the enemies to recharge their leaf. So right here, he stuns the tank. Now, there are 2 instances where I always will stun an enemy. If an enemy is coming for me one-on-one and I just can't handle the pressure, I'm going to stun him, hit F, and go completely berserk on him and try to get that 1v1. Or 2, a tank. I like stunning tanks because it stops the peeling ability, it stops the distraction, allows your team to actually focus on the DPS and the supports of the other team. This is crucial, and I want you guys to notice too what the timer's set at. So watch right here, 14 seconds. So I see a lot, and we'll break down a lot of low tier gameplay as well, but I see a lot of people play Mantis and not even use their stuns but once or twice a game. You have it every 15 seconds, you should be using it. Take advantage of it. But again, notice he's getting shots down range while keeping his teammates buffed and producing heals. Right now he's in a 1v1. I was just about to say, this is why I froze it. He's going to stun. This is one of the most irritating characters in the game. You want to get the stun off. Now, sometimes I would take this 1v1 fight with this character here, depending on the situation, depending on your health, I would take it. Or you can run and reposition. Now, unfortunately, with the health level here, there's really not much he can do, but still getting that stun off, trying to get the chance, trying to give you that opportunity to maybe hit F and lay down some headshots on her and get the kill one while using movement is crucial. But again, also, if you have full health and you have the ability like a corner or an edge that you can bounce around and get to your team to survive, don't always stun and commit to the fight. You want to try your best to keep yourself alive, because when you go down as a support, now your teammate's got 1 support left. And right here in this situation, you have support dead, support dead. This is a 4v2 fight. You've got to try your best to live. So let's see what he does. Beautiful headshot. So 15 HP, absolutely annihilates the enemy. But again, his team was separated. They had no supports. They got wiped. It was a fight that was probably going to be lost anyway. But I do love the fact that he demonstrated exactly what he should have done in that situation. Get the stun off, win your 1v1, and now we're back in the fight. And luckily, we all kind of died around the same time. Now, this is not really a Mantis tip, but I see it all the time in pubs and in rank. You come back and you have a player just push up by himself, he get waxed, and you kind of just stagger in, and you never regain like that. If you guys are dying, you want to try your best to regroup. Now, if you have 3 teammates in the fight, by all means, run up. Don't just sit there and wait for them to die. But in this situation here, you don't want to just push up by yourself. Tanks are allowed to do that. DPS supports, definitely not. See what he does here. So we've got our buffs off on our teammates. We've got the heals off as well. He's focusing DPS and instantly switching to his team. Heal, 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 shots, 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 heal, buff. He's paying attention to everything around him. As a Mantis player, if you want to master, you have to do it all. I played Mantis for probably, I'd say 10 hours worth of games before I started realizing how important buffing your teammates actually is. So right now we have an ult going on. We counter ulted as well. Now this counter ult does not make you invincible. It does crazy heals fast, but it does not make you invincible. So I love the fact that once she ulted, we back the hell up. If you're in this circle of her ult, you will die as Mantis. In fact, most ults, if you're in the circle, you're going to die. Now see what we do. We got to start getting some boost off. Our teammates are healed right now, so I definitely expect her to start getting some boost off. We got one on Dr. Strange right there. We got some heals going off. We have Strange over here as well. Notice how she launched the stun. Strange did a great job of using the counter of his shield to block the stun, but still, you have it. Make sure you're using it. Now, I wouldn't say just start spamming it down range for all willy-nilly, but if you're getting pushed or an enemy close by that you can capitalize on, you want to go ahead and get it off. Now, some situations, again, she's not the greatest healer, or she can use a right click to get it off as well. But Mantis has to choose a priority, and she went ahead and chose Hulk because he was in the best position. And again, we're getting shots off. We're trying to regenerate our leaf. Hulk's coming in. I fully anticipate if someone does peel off, we go ahead and hit him with the stun real quick. I would like to see the stun go off on the Hulk right there and get him wiped because of the situation. Now, he's a way better player than me, so by all means, I feel even guilty criticizing anything. But again, it's a lesson to you guys here. This is a moment I would use my stun. Now, Iron Man had just come out of his move. He's by himself. He's coming through here. It's a 4v1 situation in this fight to get my stun off so we can dive on him, because look at the separation of his teammates. Now, we do have a lot more vision with spectator cam to see through walls, so he might not have known how separated they were, and he just played a lot more passive. But if you notice that the team is actually separated, again, abuse the stun. And remember, you're not a DPS character, but you are a DPS character. You can do massive amount of damage. You can do massive amount of kills. Now, I want you guys to notice this right here, her inside the ult. She used the counter. Now, we ulted. And for some reason, Fairy Boy isn't coming after us. And again, as a support character, you don't have to be afraid to apply pressure. You don't want to push up by yourself, but if you have teammates nearby, if you're around a choke point, a corner like this, you want to go ahead and apply pressure to the enemies and kind of get them the hell back, because these guys are in a position where they're probably going to need to regroup. They've got seconds on them before they even come back, and they got a little bit of a journey to go. It's not that far, but they have a little bit of journey to go. So right now, technically, it's a 4v6 situation, and we could capitalize on this. Whether we do or not, it's up to the team, it's up to the comp, it's up to what everyone's feeling. Right now, you want to apply pressure to push them back. Do not let the enemy team, when you're outnumbering them, to gain more ground on the point. Again, good job just focusing up on the tank, boosting themselves as well. Now, this is something we haven't talked about much. Again, it's a balance game when it comes to the Leafs. You really want to try your best to read the situations. And again, practice in pubs. 3 basic things. It's not a lot to it. Heal yourself, buff your teammates, heal your teammates. That's it. Let's see what happens right when I fully expect him to hit F to get that buff. He didn't. All right, so in a position like this too, let's go ahead and talk about Iron Man and DPS that have a tendency to put themselves in bad positions. Now, with certain characters like this, it is what it is. You have to put yourself in bad spots. But when you have DPS like this, or even worse, they're running completely around trying to flank and you can't get to them, do not die for them, and don't get tilted if your teammates get tilted that you didn't heal them, because what's about to happen to Iron Man is so much damage, you physically cannot out heal it, because you are not a healer. You are a support character. Your responsibility is to buff and heal the entire team. There are way better healers than Mantis, and I can't stress that enough. And that's why I really wanted to make this video, is because most people playing Mantis focus on heals. But again, look how fast your boy dies. Now, when he comes down right here, again, this is another situation. I would definitely hit the stun, and so did she. So she got the stun off, put his ass to sleep, and we're laying fire on the enemy. And again, just map awareness. Mantis requires so much situational awareness to know where the enemies are, where your teammates are. You need to try your best to keep them within your line of sight. Now, again, notice how Mantis, she's playing back a lot. Notice how she's playing corners too once your boy hits the Hulk smash. She wants to get the hell out of there and allow her DPS to do what DPS does. As a support player, guys, we've got to not look at the amount of kills that we have. What we need to take pride in is the healing we do, as well as the assists, especially with Mantis. You can come out of games with 30, 40 assists, and that's really what feeds support's egos, Mantis egos, but healing as well. Kills are awesome, and you can definitely get them with Mantis, but again, that's not your priority. And I say all of that to say, guys, stop dying for kills. Stay alive for your teammate. Play with your supports. Also, side note, if you guys do main DPS and you're just trying to learn your girl Mantis, please, for the love of God, if you have somebody diving on your supports, take them out. All right, so this position here, he pushed up to go heal. Unfortunately, your boy just jumped on us and kind of pushed him back. So I want you guys to see the hesitation again. Just quick decision making. This is really nothing super serious, but after all the games I've spectated and played with other Mantis, and honestly, any support player, you just don't see this a lot. They'll just full commit to it. Again, backed up. We saw the awareness, and unfortunately, we're not able to get the heal off, but it's fine because instead of losing 2 players, now we only lost 1. And as a healer, you want to stay alive. Now, what I am shocked by the enemy team is they're not putting more support on Mantis, because Mantis has been left alone a few times. And I think they have had a few opportunities if they really wanted to, especially when Hulk pushed us a couple times. They would have brought a DPS with them. They could have jumped on him and completely changed the flow of this game, because they've had this choke point held for a good bit now. Now, you want to try to go for headshots always, and I highly recommend you guys aim train within either the game or, aim labs, Kovacs. There's so many aim training programs you guys could use. Controller players, again, in-game is going to be probably your best bet, but try your best to aim train, because Mantis's accuracy is going to be important for you to regen your leafs faster. See, now that's what I'm surprised with. I'm surprised she hasn't come shit on us a lot more, and I think she got tired of it. Now, great job on him getting the stun off. If you ever wonder what the hell this is whenever you're sitting still, she put your ass to sleep. We're able to get that off. It kind of traded on it, to be fair. So let's watch that dive one more time, because it was a good dive. Came out of absolute nowhere. We were focused up. And again, map awareness is crucial for reasons like this, but in his defense, he got a lot of shit going on. So great play. And again, great flick, just getting that stun off. That was beautiful. Now, I want to talk about this point real quick, because this is something important. I want you to notice Hulk right here, and as well as Luna, right? So he's got a healer. There's really no reason for us to push up. Again, we want to maintain line of sight on our entire team. If we start running and following the Hulk in this situation, we can absolutely get destroyed. So I love that instead of pushing up and following, falls back, he lets Luna do her thing, and here we are again, just continuing to put fire on the enemy and waiting for the Hulk to jump back in our line of sight before we put heals and buffs on him. Now, personally, I try my best to spam buffs a little bit more, but this, of course, is the highest ranked tier lobby ever. So you're not going to be able to always just have everyone buff. If you have extra leaves or there's ever a time of peace, of course, buff your teammates. So let's rewind real quick too, and this is just saving your stun for the best time possible. She's one tap. I wouldn't waste my stun right here personally, but this situation, when you have Hulk dive on you and you just use the stun, you're really in a bad spot. There's nothing you can do. Now look, again, the best thing about Mantis, and the reason why in this video we're kind of seeing certain things, I wanted to see him buff people a lot more, but he's more focused on damage and getting the heals off. That's what Mantis is for. You can't just play her one way. It depends on the circumstance and the situation of the game and how it's being dictated. She has the ability to adapt to literally anything as a support character. Some games you'll be able to flood buffs and just steamroll the enemy team, but some games just like this, you're gonna have some high skilled enemies and you're not gonna be able to buff as many people as maybe you'd like to. So don't get super tunnel vision on just buffing and healing kind of here and there. You wanna play the totality of the situation. Now, Mantis is peeling off to the left-hand side. I'll be honest, this is real ballsy. I wouldn't have done that because you never know where the enemies are gonna go. Again, we have walls from the spectate mode. I'm not sure exactly why he did that. Personally, I want to stay back and keep my teammates on me. We ended up going right anyway. Again, getting some heals off on our teammates. Again, I'm surprised he's not buffing right now. It's still early game. We could buff I would like to talk to him. We could buff our squad and really get some damage off. Unfortunately, Iron Man comes up from behind with a flank. And when it comes to who to buff, to be fair, I like to buff anybody I can see. If I know that one of my dive characters is about to go off and dive on an enemy, I'm gonna throw a buff on him. If my tank is taking on a 1v1, 1v2, and I have the leafs and the ability to do so, I'm gonna buff him. If I can buff, personally, I'm gonna buff. But again, some games you just have to go into straight heal mode, and some games you can kind of become a hybrid. Just judge the way you're playing based off the situation of the game. All right, here comes the Hulk. Let's see what we do. We got the buff off on 2 teammates right now. This is gonna be a good 6v6 fight. We lost one teammate, unfortunately. Now he lost a second one. He casted the heal, just unfortunately not enough. Again, that's not her main purpose. And now it looks like our teammate's actually probably gonna lose this fight. Whether it's the initial choke point, whether it's the choke point we were just watching them hold at, this is such a fun map on the defensive side. Offensively, it's a nightmare. It's terrible. So we're sitting on our ult again, just kind of waiting. We see a teammate getting low. Just because you see one teammate getting low and die, do not use ult for that because of this right here. This is the third time we've seen the counter for that exact ult from that exact player, from that exact character. And Luna popped her ult as well, which is definitely just super impactful. Now let's look at the team real quick. We've lost one player. It's a 5v6 situation right now. And this is ballsy. We are really in the midst of it right now, putting ourselves in a terrible spot. And notice how Doctor Strange is just straight up focusing us, and so is their Mantis. We were able to hold it off for a while, but without our heals, it looks like we're probably going to lose this. And Luna had died as well. So unfortunate right there. He's so impressive to watch, and I've watched a few of his games. I love the way he plays. Absolutely insane. But you see this position here? I want to try my best not to ever put myself in here. If you want to play this area, stay on the staircase. You have a getaway. The moment Doctor Strange jumped on us and the Hulk pushed in as well, we were just cornered. You want to keep yourself out of areas like this when you're a squishy character. Try your best to stay up here. Now he jumped in because initially it was a 2v1, then it was a 2v2, and then all hell just broke loose. But if you're going to put yourself in a room like that, in a hallway like that, make sure you maintain some form of cover or damn near close to cover, so that you can get away. Now, I've talked a lot about buffing players and how important it is, but right now you have a player right now that's about to die. You got to use all your leafs to get those heals off as fast as humanly possible. Again, a little buff to Strange right here. I'm absolutely loving the flicks, the aim, the accuracy. Now, do not let the fact that you guys can't aim or you're not that accurate deter you from shooting at enemies. What is the best way to get better with your aim besides aim training? Shooting enemies. You got to do it. So just try your best. Try to go for those headshots. I know that when you're looking at a player, it's easier to shoot center mass because it's bigger, but if you can get those headshots off, not only does it become more habitual, meaning you will hit your headshots more often, but you will do way more damage. I played video games for a very long time and I was so bad at this. I would always go for body shots. Try your best to bring that crosshair up and get those headshots off. One of the best ways, just quick tip, that I got better with headshots was sniping, no matter what game it is. Now this game right here, our sniper's not the best. Scarlett Johansson, unfortunately, is not the most powerful, but I would definitely go into aim labs, aim training software, or again, in-game training, and try your best to get those headshots with snipers, and it will translate to whatever character, whatever weapon that you have. But again, notice, he plays back 99% of the time, but when his team does outnumber the enemy, he's definitely not afraid to get a little bit more pushy with it. Now, this is around the choke point where they were able to hold, so I'm curious to see how they're able to push back, learning from the mistakes the enemies made, and also how they're able to develop a comp together to capitalize on the situation. Now, I would put this bitch to sleep, and that's exactly what he did to get out of that. Love it. Stuns are so powerful, and again, you don't want to just waste them and spam them all willy-nilly. In case you get pushed, you might need it. But if you're playing back and there's no enemies near you and someone dives on you, use the hell out of it. Now, this is a decent choke point, but because of the way the map's designed, the best place to hold is going to be around the corner. This is exactly where they were able to hold them. So let's see what happens here. Again, like I said, he plays back 99% of the time, but when he outnumbers, when their team outnumbers the enemy team and they feel the force of the win in their favor, he's going to get a lot more aggressive with it. Now, this situation here, instinctively, you want to go in and heal your teammates, but unfortunately, they're just dead. And again, there's nothing you can really do about that. I watch, and I'm guilty of it too, I watch so many people will dive in there, try to get the heal off. Again, saying it one more time, your heal is not as destructive as you'd like it to be, so do not die because you're all going to end up dying if you go in there. Keep yourself alive. Something I was told when I was being trained in a past life is you can't help anybody if you're dead. So try your best to always stay alive. Do not die to get heals off, because if you're dead, they're going to eventually die anyway. The biggest L you can take as a support is death. You can lose a DPS, you can lose a tank, but if you lose a support, your whole team has a massive, massive percentage to die. Again, too, he's only able to see a few enemies. You kind of just notice he's peeking to the right, peeking to the left. He's trying to keep that awareness. And this is just where the sensitivity comes into play. Now, normally I'm not a big fan of loose sensitivity at all. I like stricter sensitivity, but in games like Overwatch and games like Marvel Rivals, you want to have that flicking ability, whether you're on mouse and keyboard, whether you're on controller, you want to have the ability to flick and look around and scan quickly, right? I really hope this video helps you guys become a more efficient Mantis player. She's a ton of fun to use, and with some practice, I believe anybody can master her. We will be breaking down gameplay from the top tier players, myself, as well as you guys. So if you want to have your gameplay broken down here on the channel, make sure you follow me on Twitter and send me the replay code to the gameplay, and I will be posting that here on this channel. Y'all have a good one. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.